All right, you guys, this is Julian from the Forex Lab, the Binary Lab. I'm going to give you guys a little update about what the hell happened with the Fireboss V2 PAMM accounts. So if you've been looking at the stats, either you're an investor or perhaps you're looking to invest and you see this. What is that? Down 17% this week. Down 4%, 4.25% just today. What's up with that? Okay, so what happened was that there were two equity stop-outs due to the protection strategy. Okay, I don't feel good about it. All right, but at the same time, I also want to explain to you, or rather show you how this, this was very, very necessary. Okay, so first and foremost, to tell you a little bit about the system, I actually have like margin protection stops. So this occurs when let's say when any particular currency pair has a floating loss of X%, right? I actually typically set this between 5 and 7, okay? And usually, like based on market conditions, in the past there have been situations where, well, just 1% extra would have made a lot of difference. So let's say in the past there have been stop outs that happen where, let's say, just additional of 2% or 3% shift, so-called shifting the goalpost by a little bit, would have actually saved the account of a stop loss and actually like a recovery is around the corner. But this time around, recovery was not around the corner after shifting it. Okay, so that was a mistake. However, okay, there is a plan. There is a plan in place, and just today, about 4 hours ago, I've actually done a webinar for those people who are PAMM investors and people who are members of my Forex learning group. So in this webinar, I've laid out my exit strategy, my crisis management strategy. Okay, so for those of you who have seen this strategy, and I'm actually quite interested to share it with you guys, but I only want to be sharing with the correct people because I do not want this crisis management strategy to be falling into the wrong hands. What do I mean by that? Because at this point of time, okay, like I said, once again, were these losses expected? They were not expected. Were they desired? No, they were not desired. They actually happened overnight. Okay, basically, the USD just suddenly strengthened. It strengthened against many pairs, and that actually resulted in further drops in New Zealand, further drops in Aussie, further drops in like the pound. Okay, so one thing I want to explain to you is this margin protection stop loss. Okay, this is actually a very, very powerful tool. And let me ask you one question. A lot of people can very, very easily get pissed off, get offended, get angry whenever, like, you see 5% disappearing from your account, 7% disappearing from your account. I'm not saying this as a way of excuse. It is not intended as an excuse, but I want you to choose, right, from two possibilities. Do you want account wipeout, or do you want to lose 5% or 7%? In some cases, okay, do you want to wipe out your account, or do you want to lose 10%? Okay. So what happens when there is a margin protection stop out? When there's a margin protection stop out, it will actually result in the whole set of trades being paused. Okay, it is the losing trades in that basket. Let's say the buys on, for instance, New Zealand USD. If the buys are all closed for loss, okay, it will be suspended as so, and then or let's say anyone running my EA can actually go in and re-optimize the settings based on the current data that resulted in the stop out. Okay, because this data was not available prior to this. So therefore, the pip steps, the multipliers could not be budgeted for this event. But can it be budgeted for future scenarios in the market? Yes, it can. Okay, but on top of that, I want to go this one step further, and this one step further is actually more like a crisis management plan. In this webinar that I gave to my members 4 hours ago, all right, and those of you who are inside of Forex Learning Group, if you are if you are an investor of my EA, you can reach out to the admin, and the admin will actually give you a link to that webinar replay, okay? Because over there, I've outlined 5 different strategies, okay? 5 strategies that you can use. The first 3 I will be using as a given on the account moving forward, all right? The first 3 I'll be using on the account as a given, but as for the last 2, okay, I need you to watch the replay because I will need you to approve of the steps that I plan to take. So it is explained in the webinar, and those of you who are in the Forex Learning Group can also, who are only doing manual trading, you can actually benefit from that recording because you can learn how I plan to execute these steps for the recovery, okay? And you can execute that as your own manual trades on your accounts. And that is going to, based on the simulations that I've actually explained in the lesson, that will be getting you in excess of a few hundred pips. It may get you even 1,000 pips across all the various setups that are on the market right now. Okay, so one more reason to watch it. But for those of you who are investors, I need you to watch the video. I need you to approve or disapprove of the recovery strategy that I've laid out. Okay, there's one more thing that I need to. There's one more thing that I need you guys to. For those of you, I'm speaking for those of you who have not watched the webinar. Okay, when you go into the webinar, you're also gonna. You see in our private Telegram group, I have a document. It's a fairly lengthy one that actually details all the 5 exit strategies that I'll show it to you. You can't see it from this distance anyway. Where is it? Just a moment. Here it is. Okay, so okay, so I have exit strategy, okay, laid out with examples as well. Okay, so this exit strategy, like when you see it, I need you to promise me one thing, that this will not be shared anywhere else. Okay. The truth of the matter is, I know this sucks. I'm not trying to make this make myself look good by comparing with other people. But the fact of the matter is, like I said, over the past few weeks, many EA operators have been perishing. But yesterday alone, many have perished. Okay, and many are on the verge of perish because they do not have similar exit strategies or even safety controls such as the ones I've input into my system. I do admit that it was a bit ambitious of me to shift the goalpost from using USD, resulting in about like I think 11% equity drop on that based from that pair alone. Okay, that's unfortunate. However, with regards to like the strategies that I have mentioned, I'm very sure that many EA operators out there who are running their own kinds of PAMM or their own strategies on copy trade, they will probably want these strategies very badly because they probably, optimize their system from somewhere else, didn't build it from the ground like I did. So, like I want to let you guys know that for those of you who are coming to Forex Learning Group, in the learning group or investors or Fire Your Boss V2, check out the webinar, read the document. If there's anything that you do not understand, tag me in the Telegram chat and I'll explain to you further. At the same time, do look at the video. There's certain points from point 3, point 4, and point 5. You may need to watch it more than once to get it, okay? The reason why I even held the webinar today was because like a lot of these principles, if it's just done in writing, it's easy for someone like me to understand. But for someone like you, I mean, you may get the idea, but you don't know how to do it. Although it's just a matter of setting like, some stop orders and some, some trading stop positions and blah, 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 right? In principle, it's very simple, but in actual execution, It could be a lot more difficult than that. So therefore, watch the webinar, read the document. If there are any questions, please ask. Okay. First of all, watch the thing a few times. Okay, watch those sections a few times. And for those of you in the Forex Learning group, like, what has this got to do with me? Okay, like if you came on late to this video, well, there's a lot to do with you, because in the last 25 minutes of that 1 hour webinar that I gave this morning, it's more like, I call it the crisis management webinar. Although it's crisis management webinar for those people running the EA, but however, for those of you who are on the learning group, okay, if you watch the last 25 minutes, I have for you a very definite plan, okay, of how you can pick up at least 1,000 pips from all the opportunities that are currently in the market right now. So watch it, and more power to you. I want to finish this video by saying, okay, that a lot of things happen by for whatever reason. Okay, things happen, and it can be very shitty to us sometimes. It can be very demoralizing that certain things happen, and this could well be a setback. However, this situation that happened, like I said, if I had the past data to optimize for it, this could have been prevented. But this is probably like one of those very drastic situations, and it's also given us a very good framework of how to bulletproof the PAMM account and those people running EA, my EA, from now onward. Okay, you have exactly what you need to bulletproof it, because in that webinar I've taught all the various strategies ranging from easy to a little bit more challenging on how you can safeguard, not only safeguard, but also on top of that, profit from your account. All right. So sometimes shitty things happen to us in our lives, and if we don't realize what it was for, if we don't realize the reason behind it, or if we don't have a learning lesson from it, then we basically suffer for nothing. But if we are able to actually find out, why did this happen? What can we learn from it? And we learned something from it, that actually makes us stronger, and it's a liberation for us as well. Everything happens for a reason. And on a lighter note, just to finish this off, when I was driving out of the house this morning, it was at about 1 kilometer out of where my home is. Okay, I had a notification on my car dashboard saying that please turn off your engine and check the engine coolant level. Seconds before that, no, actually like about 2 minutes before that, my daughter was like, "Hey, there's this bottle of distilled water, and just rolling around in my car. What's it doing there?" So it could be that one of my relatives took my car for a drive and went to refill petrol and got this bottle of distilled water. So it came in very handy. So immediately, 1 and 2 connected, and I immediately took that. Over here in Asia, we don't get because we don't have winter, right? So we don't ever get our coolant freezing out. It's very, very common that over here we mix our coolant with some distilled water. So I was like just pouring the distilled water, and then the car was drivable. Otherwise, we'd be like, before I know it, we're stuck in a typical Thailand, Bangkok kind of traffic jam. So, for those of you who came on late, once again, this is to tell you to watch the webinar that is in the group. Made it 4 hours ago. Recording is already up. Okay, learn about what happened, and and for those of you running the EA, you can use these strategies. If some of you if some of you are actually enter at different times, maybe you haven't taken a loss, but you could be close to it. And actually, some of you out there could be in some kind of EA program yourself. Okay, as in you're running some EAs, and you're like all over yourself, wondering what to do. Like crap, it's like you're looking for a way to exit. So what I can tell you is that, okay, unfortunately, my EA cannot manage your EA's trades. However, the principles that I laid out in my crisis management strategy works for all kinds of hedging EAs that have built-in features to cut off your loss at certain loss percentage levels, or to control the maximum trades, which unfortunately not all trades have. But you may actually get some very good ideas on salvaging your accounts using this crisis management plan. And on top of that, You may actually want to transit over to my EA to manage your account more effectively. Bye for now. Safe trading. I hope you profit from this experience moving forward. Bye for now.